The Trash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, and GH Graphics, and their Junket Apparel line. And Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Episode 53, ready to go. Locked and loaded. Gonna go down and see Sean Gokenauer this weekend. Anybody want to go with me? October 11th. They got that show at Woodstock.
I would love to go, but unfortunately that damn work schedule keeps getting in my way.
Yeah, it always does with you. We got Brian Tompkins here in-house, Ben Host as well. Going to be talking with Mike DiFrischia here in just a few minutes. We'll be talking with Tommy Dowd a little bit later on, and we got a guest call. I'm really not sure how this guest call is going to go. Somebody messaged me today and said, "I want you to call me during the course of the show." I said, "Why not? I'll try and squeeze you in." And the message that came back to me was something to the effect that they want. There's a lot of people that want to be able to call into the show to talk about drivers who go and hide in the corners. So I don't know how that conversation is going to go, but we'll get to it. Crash Course Derby Podcast, episode number 53, off to a roaring start. It's going to be a fun one, I think. But I just want to give fair warning that we do have these guys previously booked, and we do have a schedule. So if we start pushing it, we do want to catch up with those guys. We got a blank slate on the backside of it. Lakes to Lake Girls, if anybody's going to be hanging around for Lakes to Lake Girls on FingerLakes1.tv. That show is canceled. The host of that is at a soccer game. So Lake to Lake Girls will be back next week. Thanks a lot to everybody. By the way, over 800 views on last week's show. I think we had close to 80 live.
Yep.
And then the YouTube views were over 500, which was outstanding. Good job, guys. Keep that stuff up.
That was awesome. Nice. Thank you for the support.
And yeah, we can't go wrong. And some good news. Finally, a little bit of good news. I saw there was a big hole carved into the earth at Andy Wolfhanger's place.
Yep.
So they're starting to rebuild over there, and well wishes out to Scott Kiefer. I have not seen any updates on it, but I know Scott was the guy that was in the intro sequence. I had the roof of the Cadillac peeled off at Yates County this year. He was fine there, but he's got some respiratory problems. Went in, they found he's got a couple blood clots in his lungs, and one's dangerously close to his heart. So he was in ICU for a little while there, while they got that straightened out. I haven't heard any updates, which is I'm going to take that as good news, because there's no RIPs going around, which is great. We've had enough of that. Please stop. And brings me to my final monologue topic of sorts. Just some well wishes out to Craig Ravel. Real good dude, web design kind of guy. Real big in the motorsports world, especially up in Canada, and we had a lot of conversations. I sort of branched out towards the Derby world, and he stayed more towards modified racing, and he's been far more successful.
I don't know about all that.
But he lived up in Cornwall, Canada, and he passed away over the weekend. It's been a tough one. The racing world has certainly taken its blows this year, just like the Derby world has, and so well wishes out to Craig and everybody. Lots of Derby action still going. I mean, I couldn't believe this. The Hog Wild Fall Brawl. We had toyed around with the idea of going down there, but they ended up going in a different direction, and now I kind of wish that we had, because Andy Bort ended up winning the Outlaw trucks. I don't know if you saw any pictures of that truck, but that really didn't get hurt, because the way those Outlaw trucks are built, those things are stout. And then Mike DiFrischia turns around and he won the full size V8 division. I got to ask.
A couple wins this year.
He's done really well. I mean, we got a lot of wins coming on the show tonight. When you factor in Mike with his, I think he's probably up where somewhere around himself. I think he's probably 5 or 6, and then I think Tommy's got 5 or 6 as well. I mean, Tommy's
he's the new big dog on the block.
every time Tommy leaves the house, he comes home with another 6-foot trophy.
Yeah, they've both had pretty good seasons.
Yep, they sure have. We gotta track down a phone number, because, like I said, we got a busy show tonight. I'm gonna get a hold of Mike.
I see there were some pics on Facebook too from I think they call it Halloween Havoc out in Utah. There was some pretty nasty looking iron.
They had a crazy turnout. At one point, I think I heard 100 cars.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's 100%
real good
accurate,
turnout out there.
But, yeah, they.
I think Lazenby said it on his Facebook. There was over 100 cars ready to go.
And if I read it right, there's Lazenby car with a Baldwin motor in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think Josh had told us previously that he was doing something along those lines. But they showed a Cordoba with a hood to the bumper, all steeled in. Apparently, that was running in the outlaw class, which Troy Tag told us that everything ends up running together out there. So there was some heavy.
Yeah.
I think they had 2 tip overs in like 20 seconds, like back to back. One happened, and before they could get it stopped, there was another one.
It's definitely a show you want to be at. That's for sure. I mean, to be there in real life, instead of watching it on TV.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things we gotta get to Utah sooner or later.
We got Mad Mike on the line. Mike, can you hear us okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Excellent. Excellent. I got a little nervous because the first time I called, it gave me some weird operator, and I didn't know what was going on. But, Mike, congratulations on your win over there in Jamestown at the Fall Brawl.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Mike, how many wins is that for you on the season?
That is 4.
4. Nice.
Not a bad summer.
How about for the shop?
Man, that's we got 7 first places this year, and then we got a pile of seconds and thirds.
Nice.
That's not a bad year out of the shop.
That car that you won with over there at Fall Brawl was the same one that you ran at Keystone Nationals and all the other shows since then?
No, I wish.
That car treated you right down there.
My name's not Pete now.
Well,
The keyword's fix-it plate.
Yeah, fix it, please.
It was the same car I ran at the fair show. I took first with at the fair show a few weeks prior.
That's cool. That's cool. Mike, how many cars have you guys put out of your shop this season?
I mean, we were at like, I don't know, 25 or 26. That was a few cars back, so we're probably over 30 right now.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a decent amount.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, do you ever just? I mean, are you ever just ready for a break, just to relax and not build a derby car? Because you got to be doing it every night, man.
Yeah, I am now. I'm done. Coming up in a couple weeks here up the road from my house, 10 minutes, and I'm like, everything that's left at the shop, I'm just giving away.
are you bringing anything to New Alex?
Nope. We're just going to come down and watch.
All right, that'll be good.
That'd be cool.
We're going down there. We're going to do a couple podcast shows, and maybe jump in the announcer booth and hang out for a little bit down there. This deal with the Fall Brawl here, the Hog Wild show, was a bit of a new show. Kind of showed up out of nowhere as a benefit for Pork, who was a pretty prominent fixture in the derby world down in that part of the state. Tell me a little bit more about that show and what it means to win a show that was hosted in his memory.
Yeah, Pork was a good guy. He had an unfortunate accident there last year, and this was thrown together pretty quickly by the Smith family, Chance and Casey Smith, and his brother Mike Matheson, and they threw it together to raise money for his kids, and they had us build a raffle car for it, and we did that, and I'm pretty sure they sold quite a few tickets and everything went good. We had over, I think, there was like 105 total car count with the minis, the trucks. I mean, everybody showed up, showed their support. I mean, it was an awesome day. I mean, we haven't had that many cars at our local fair in at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's great.
It was pretty cool to see everybody come out for a good cause.
Good deal.
So you're really done? I find that hard to believe. I thought you derbied year round down there. When you had stuff that would still fire, you just go smash it into each other behind the shop.
My wife's ready to kill me this year.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, as of right now, I got a few guys that help out a lot at the shop here, and they don't run a whole lot. They got 60-hour-a-week jobs and families, and just don't have the money to throw into it like some of us do. And I kind of feel I owe a few of them, so we got a couple cars left over. We're gonna let these guys run it. I mean, they put the time in at the shop all year when I needed them, so I'm just gonna give them out to those guys and let them go have a good time, and I'll be starting back up in April.
That's an awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
Where are they going to run those? I mean, this is all stuff that's going to be run in 2015, or are we going to see it someplace this year?
Now, the 25th of this month, they're having one at Yankee Lake.
Yep.
It's a place they have mud trucks and stuff, but once a year they have a demolition derby there in October. We actually built the raffle car for them last year for up there, and just a small little derby. Last year was the first year they had it for 80s and newer style cars, and they had a pretty good turnout. I think 27 or 28 cars showed up, so they're doing it again this year.
Nice.
Hey, whatever happened to the raffle car? You had a white Ford wagon that you were building as a raffle car that was going to come up to Cuba. Whatever happened to that car?
I ran that car at Mercer Grange in early June, shortly after they canceled on that Cuba. I ended up running it down there, and I think I took a fourth in it.
Yeah.
Made it down to the end, broke a drive shaft, but I just recently, Friday night, ended up getting a brand new Near-At, so slider.
Cured those drive shaft problems.
Yep.
First one I ever used, man. 20 years, never had a slider.
Well, how long have sliders been around?
Man, I want to say
1, 2, 5, 8, 9.
8 years, maybe.
8, 9 years.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Probably longer for some
Yeah,
guys.
I think probably pushing 10 years. This is 2014,
Yeah, I would say it's been
2004.
pushing 10 years now. I always wanted one. I just never wanted to spend the money. I never really had an issue with drive shafts. And then this year I had 2 of them break first couple runs. I said, nah, I'm done with this.
Yep, that's all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, really, it makes it easier on the driver in that, it's easier to, instead of having to build a drive shaft for everything, you unbolt it, put your motor in, your rear end in, bolt it back up, and you're ready to go.
You still need 2 different length sliders if you go from 80s to old iron.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. I didn't think
Buy
of that.
2, then you don't never have to get another one.
That's true. I didn't think of that part.
I actually think Brian's making one now that has a longer slide to it that is kind of a universal.
Yeah.
That would be
I
cool.
was talking to him a little bit about it, but I went with the normal one. I would have to get another one if I jumped down to a 70s ride, but
Right.
mostly everything I'm running now is 80s Ford, so.
Yeah, you do pretty well with them there. I guess I'd stick
I
right
don't
along
worry.
with that line.
I wouldn't deviate much from that.
Nope. Good plan.
We got somebody going from old iron to new iron. I see Tommy had one loaded on
Oh,
his
yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dowd did have a new iron.
And Justin Gilmartin said he's learned more in the last 24 hours since he posted a picture of that Ford than he ever would have thought that he would. So
yeah.
there's a couple of people that are making that transition. I was working on some footage over the weekend, and there was a guy that was in a new style Ford who got drilled back to back with another guy. Green flag came off, and they started him suicide style, one at each end of the track, and they came out, and he's right in front of me. They go back to back. Car goes up on its roof. The car drives off, and the guy that got hit stands on the throttle. The wheels turn like a half of a revolution, and the whole drive shaft, the length of it, comes spitting out from underneath the car.
Whoops. That's no
Wasn't
fun.
good.
That's no fun. Mike, how's the parts business? Keeping you pretty busy?
Yeah, actually, we have been. Here in the last month or so, it's slowed down some. I think it's nearing the end of the season and all, but yeah, we're still making plenty of parts, and keeping us busy, to say the least. So, no complaints there.
We going to see you at the Derby party this year?
Oh, yeah, I won't miss that again. We had a good time up there.
I believe the date's February 28th. The invitations are in the process of being made and finalized, and there was a couple meetings here in the last 2 weeks planning all that stuff out, and looks like there's pretty much only room for about 400 people.
And we were almost there last
year. Yeah, so if you want to go, if you didn't go last year and you want to go when the tickets go on sale, you need to move fast.
Yeah, get one quick.
In terms of buying them at the door, I don't know how much option you're going to have.
You just show up.
There's room for there's room for everybody. You just have to go hang out in the parking lot.
Yeah, we could. That's happened. That's happened before.
We'll pull an old buddy, old pal, Brett, old buddy,
Yeah.
old pal.
Well, Brett would just open the doors and let everybody
Yeah,
in.
I know he would. He'd let everybody.
He'd let everybody. Come on in. It's all good.
No, these are not the stories that need to be out here.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing?
After the food's served, I mean, it's all good. Everybody can come and hang out.
Food's at
then.
3. Food's at 3 this year.
I think that was around the same time I got home from the party last year. It was around 3.
Yeah. So, what you got any plans for what big shows you plan on running next year, Mike?
Man, I really don't know. There's so many. It's like I really planned on getting a team together and going out to Spring Explosion, and then some of the guys that were going to run with me out there kind of tossing it around now. Maybe they just want to build for the Bash, and I mean, I hear there might be a show coming to New York that some of us might want to come run, and you know, there's so many next year. It's hard to decide where you really want to go. I mean, we got so many local shows too, and I try to run a lot of those also because my family and my grandparents and stuff come and watch, and just hard to make a decision.
So instead of 30, you got to build 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So basically, I just if I can decode the answer to Ben's question, it just sounds like all of them.
Yeah, yeah, just all of them.
Well, you know, I tried to make a good plan for this year, and the first two on my list was a team show over in Carrollton, Ohio, which was in early May, and then the next
May
show
2nd.
was going to be Cuba, and both of those canceled last minute. So, you know, I think I'm just going to build a bunch of cars like I did this year and take them when it, you know, feels like the time's right. Just load up and go.
We started the season tough this year. We had 3 cancellations: Carrollton, Ohio, May 2nd, and then the week after that was the 9th. That was that show down at. It was one of the MMP shows that they were going to have Rumble at the Rock in Rockingham County, Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Yeah,
and then a couple weeks later, Cuba went down
That
too.
was kind of a rough start. I was like, man, what the hell's going on here?
I think it rallied okay.
Yeah,
I think
it caught on.
Sport seems to be doing just fine, I believe.
Yeah.
So, Mike, how many fresh Fords you got? You know, laid in the weeds, ready to be built for next year. I mean, do you?
Don't answer that.
Are you got to go out and get some more, or is there a bunch waiting out back of the shop?
I mean, I got a few 80s. I got a few 80s laying out back, and we actually built a 71 Lincoln Mark V for my youngest son. He was 15 this year. He took first place in it, his first demo, and we just bought 3 more of those. We're all going to run one next year.
Tried a few things that worked good, I take it.
Yeah, first one I ever built, man. You know, I never really was much into those early 70s Fords, but I built this one for my stepson, and he went out, used the front end all night, and I mean, it was just a machine. So we're going to try a few more for next year.
Looked like fun. Figure give it a shot, huh, Mike?
Yeah, well, Decker's always on my ass to run 70s cars, so.
Don't listen to Decker. He's just gonna lead you down the wrong road, man. You're doing good. Just don't listen to Decker.
He was in one of those. He was in one of those out in something along those lines, right? When he was out
in Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah.
And
then Dave Early had one, and his did just fine.
Yeah,
he did pretty well with it.
Yeah, that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Did you inspect that car?
Actually, no, I didn't inspect any cars this year.
No.
Then why did I have to cut my card every time I see you?
My understanding.
Oh boy!
I gotta go out and I gotta put my learning cap on when we go to Topeka, and I gotta educate myself so I can actually know what I'm looking for.
I'm still confident that my head is going to spin out there.
We've a few guys had some older Fords built, and
they did well.
Did very well. I mean, once you get the fronts figured out, I mean, it's dependent on the build rules. I mean,
they're tough.
They're nasty cars.
Yep, very, very tough.
I think a lot of the cars that weren't so desirable 10 or 15 years ago, with the way we're building them now, makes them a lot stronger than they were 15 years ago when we were just knocking the windows out and running them.
Yeah, because if we could build cars
then
15 years ago like we could now, there's a lot of cars that were like, they're junk.
Yeah.
And who's to know? I mean, years ago, Cadillacs, everybody's like, screw them, Cadillacs are junk.
Oh, yeah.
And look at what they're doing with them now.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's
the next hot cars that it hasn't been found yet. Everybody, the round back, and then it was the sedan, and then it was the evolution. It just keeps changing.
Look at what just like I said when I got here tonight. Look at what just won
the Roadmaster.
Yeah,
a Buick Roadmaster won Fall Brawl.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look at the Crown Vics. I mean, before they
those were throwaway cars.
Yeah, before they were built, I mean, the people would run them, but they'd, a couple of hits in the front, and the bumper would be in the air, and it'd be, the back end would be around the tires, but now this, stuff, they're doing with them, they're just nasty built cars.
Rivieras and Malibus. I mean, those the view of those has changed quite a bit too lately.
Absolutely.
Plate grind weld.
I gotta remember that.
Mid-'70s Malibus for years were my favorite. When everybody was, paying big money starting 10 years ago for the Impalas and the Caprices and the Buicks, and I was taking every Malibu I could find, man. They were nice and get around the track easy with them, and I love them to this day. They're just getting hard to find.
Yeah, you got that right.
We got a guy here local, Chuck Chapman.
That's all. He's
he
all run.
He runs hard.
Well, that's what Brett won Hartford with.
Yeah, Brett won Hartford with Malibu.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. They're short, they're stout, they're easy to get around. I mean, I think every manufacturer has that car.
Yeah.
Fords, you go way back. Ford's got the Thunderbirds.
Yep.
You got the T-Birds.
Yep.
Then now you're talking to Malibus for GM. Mopars, the most underestimated car a Mopar has is the Diplomat and Cordovas.
Yep.
And depending on the build rules.
Yep.
And,
right. Absolutely.
The Grand Furies and the Diplomats, the Fifth Avenues, like that. The only criticism that I've heard about those is that the cars are so light.
Yeah.
They just don't have the ground presence that some of those other cars do, and they get pushed around too easy. But I've never seen anybody have a problem with it.
Hey, Chris Furster took a Diplomat out to Bash for Cash 3 years ago, and held his own out there in the 80s class. And everybody's like, "What the hell is that thing?" He's like, "Oh, it's a Mopar," and they're like, "What?" And
how'd you get in?
And
what invited you to this party?
It held its own. So I mean, they're underestimated cars. I think every manufacturer has that car out there, and now people are with the build rules, or you can run just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's another statement of the knowledge and the building capabilities of the Derby guys, because they take the cars that were less desirable, because in some places that's the only thing they got left,
right?
And they build them
a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, and a whole lot cheaper too, and they build them and they compete. I mean, that's you got to adapt and overcome. I mean, and there's a lot of guys that have obviously done that. So, just another way the sport's evolving, I think.
So the Lincoln was
Diplomat Saturday down at our fair there at the Hog Wild, and I think he made it down to 5th. I'm not sure what happened to him, but it was a damn hard car. Greg Hulett ran it, and he's out of Mercer, PA. And he did real good in it. I think he just got hot and it wouldn't fire, but he was right down there in the end with us, and I think it might have been the only Mopar there, actually.
Probably.
I'd be pulling for him then.
Absolutely. Got to cheer for a Mopar.
Them PA guys, the Mopars, they got a lot of them guys got the Mopars figured out. I mean,
a lot of Mopar motors.
I think Chris Furster's car was one of the most talked about cars at Bash that year, just because it was a Diplomat at the Bash,
Absolutely, because that was the year I went out and it was inspecting out there. I was a guest inspector. Yep. And everybody's like, "What the hell is that?" I says, "A Diplomat." "Oh, you look at that. You're a Mopar guy." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And he says, "No, I'll look at it with you. I'm not gonna just look at it." Well, that's cool. It's he definitely had a few things and a few tricks up his sleeve he tried, and they're pretty interesting things. I mean, it's. I'd love to have a Diplomat. I mean,
try some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I built a Ford years ago, but now that's the next on the plate, and it's gonna be something.
How many cars is it going to take to build your Ford?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Yeah. five different brands.
Yeah,
I would say it's gonna be a month. 5
different brands. I'm not even gonna try. Not even gonna buy it.
How'd you like to be the inspector looking at it?
No thanks. Not interested. Mike, do you do much in the way of inspecting, or do you just go build and run?
Nah, I just pretty much build and run. I mean, eventually, I'm sure someday I will. At least I hope to. But right now, I'm still in good enough shape to run. So I'm just gonna run many as I can.
Good choice. good choice, because I go through a show and I have a permanent nervous twitch from doing it at the show. It's like, like you want to just jump over the wall with some of these people and jump in their car and say, get out. Let me take over.
Yeah, let me take care of that.
But no, it's hard. I mean, I enjoy it. It's fun, but I'm a builder, so I mean, I can't stay away from it.
Yep, obviously that's the addiction, man. That's what keeps us coming back.
Well, Mike, man, I appreciate your time tonight. Again, congratulations on the win, and we're going to be looking for you here next Saturday. New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, the Lions Club has their season end points championship on the 17th, and we're going to be down there. We'll have all the equipment and such with us, and make sure you stop by and say hi.
All right, I will, man. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you guys then.
You bet. Congratulations on the win.
Take it easy, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll see you, man.
30 cars.
30 cars, dude. Them guys are built. Well, he has a decent sized crew though, right? He has a group of guys that
he's got an army. I mean, it's like the Pennsylvania Power Team. There's a lot of people.
Right. So I mean,
at least the impression is.
But still,
yeah,
that's still a lot of cars, and that's awesome that he tries to hit.
It's a lot.
Well, it's awesome he tries to support all the shows.
Yeah, yeah, that's very good. Very good.
And travel around and support them shows, and he's just a cool dude. I mean,
Josh ran one of his cars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran a Cadillac in the stock division at the Keystone Nationals.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to track down this mystery caller here. I'm trying to see if we can make this work for them, because they've got their sounds like they've got their phone turned off.
Huh.
Turn your phone on. So we'll shoot that their way.
Well, it's better than having a restricted number come up. It might be. Caller ID block.
Yeah, I mean, it just kicks.
So what is the big question? Why? How people?
Actually, I pulled it up right here. So
okay.
We had that phone call, this phone number last week when we were talking with Joker.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
This 585 number kept popping up, and they wanted to know what did we think about Bad News getting beat by Ricky, and so we talked a little bit about the show in Belfast, and Brett dropped the drive shaft, and this morning I got a note from that number saying, can we call in tonight? And I generally don't, unless we pre-plan it or we're going to keep the phone line open so that we can take phone calls. I don't typically take phone calls because of the way that the phone system's set up. That's not a criticism of anything. It's just easier to manage, especially when we got late to late girls or the sauce waiting on the other side of it. We got to keep on our schedule.
Yeah.
So we don't always take phone calls, but I mean, there's been options and situations where we've done it. So I said I'd call them around 6:25, and the note that I got back was there are a lot of people that want to call in on the topic of people sitting in the corner and sandbagging every derby.
Huh. Well,
and I would, happy to talk about it.
Yeah, and my quick comment on that is if the person that's worried about this and the people that are upset about this, if they're actual drivers, then you're on the track. So if somebody's sitting in the corner,
go get them.
Park on the air cleaner.
Go get them.
It's that's always been a thing. I mean, from when I was running, and everybody that does run agree. I mean, the guys at Brookfield, I mean, all them guys out in Morris and them guys, I'm here to tell you, there ain't one car that'll sit in a corner and sandbag, because if they're sitting there, them guys are coming.
Yeah, it's easy to hit a target that's holding still.
And that just falls back, like I said a minute ago. I mean, police yourself. I mean, you don't be pissed off if the guy's sandbagging and he wins. I mean, if you're on the track, do something about it.
Well, I mean, the eternal argument is, what's the difference between sandbagging and smart driving?
Well, here's the thing.
What's the dividing line?
I shouldn't say sandbag. I should say they're complaining if somebody's sitting in the corner and hanging out and sandbagging or whatever. But that's the tricky thing. I mean, as long as they're making qualifying hits every 60 seconds.
It's just, in my humble opinion, I think it's just a lot easier to sit in the stands and judge than it is to get on the track and do something.
Yeah, but also if somebody's judging it is a driver, they then get in your car and
I've always found, though, when
fix
I've been on when I'm on the track, if there's an issue, I generally can get her squared around pretty quick. I mean,
Pretty much, yeah. I run out of car usually.
Yeah, I've been in the same boat.
I fit the classification. Who always Josh likes throwing out the steering wheel holder classification once in a while, but it's.
Well, we got him. Appreciate you grabbing the phone here when we called you. We were a couple minutes behind schedule, but you are live on the Crash Course with Ben, Brian, and Chris. I mean, you dropped me that note earlier about sandbagging and hiding in the corners and stuff, so I wanted to give you a chance to sort of share some of your thoughts.
But first, can we get a name?
Yes.
I was the guy that called Brett out last what was that, Cancerega?
Yeah.
And
that's fine.
It wasn't me standing in the stands or nothing like this calling that man out. That was back in Bath when we had Father's Day Bash.
Yeah.
And my old man was down in the corner, and I flipped I flipped him off, and he hit me after I was already out. And after I flipped him off, he spun around and went from one end of the track to the other end and hit my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
All this over Brett, and everybody saying this and that or this. Nobody really knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
Right.
I told Brett, I think Brett's cool and this and that, whatever. You know what I mean? But he hit my dad when he wasn't supposed to, and he was already out. So I figured that it was my turn to go get him.
Right.
So and karma got him.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I didn't get him. I didn't beat him. He beat himself.
Right.
That was the best way to beat somebody, is having them beat themselves,
mm-hmm.
as a simple thing as a dry shaft. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure, and I've talked to him personally. I mean, he's like, hey, my hat's off to him. He beat me he beat me one-on-one. It's my fault. The dry shaft broke. But
you know what? It wasn't Brett. I found out that it was Derby Boy. So I hope he's ready to strap in and hang on, because I'm coming through too.
Derby Boy would be the '98 Jim Beatty.
You're talking about Jim Beatty's the one that hit him, not Brett, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I stood up, like I said, I come out of my car in Bath.
Yeah.
And was down there and down there shooting my mouth off. Yeah. And I thought for 100% sure that it was Brett, because he got right out of the car. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I thought for 100% sure it was Brett, but from what Tracy's telling me, and I guess old man Tracy and a couple other guys were telling me, David Early and Aaron were telling me that it was Derby Boy.
Right.
But I ain't seen the video, you know what I'm saying? I thought that guy was a skinny guy. I thought for sure it was a big guy.
Well, I mean, so you're...
The baby's alive, but I just wanted to set that straight, as in I wasn't just no dumbass out of the grandstand, as that guy said last week, calling Brett out.
Sure.
And I didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't stick around the corners, man. I come off the line wide open, and I run my car wide open every time until that baby says, "Kaplooey."
Nice.
And if nobody sees it, then they need to sit back, relax, and jump in the passenger seat with me.
Now, did you say that you're... So now you've dialed the crosshairs in on Jim Beatty then?
What's that?
You're gonna go after Jim Beatty now?
Well, if that's the guy that hit my old man, that's what I'm going after.
Okay.
So...
He's not hard to find.
I'm not scared. It's only a derby, man.
That's right.
I know.
Most they can do is flip you on your top and maybe hit you in the driver's door. You always sit in the center of the car and buckle in.
You ever meet Jim Beatty?
That's what it's about.
Hey, you know what? The way you do it.
Coming off the line wide open and hitting, and then crawling back up to the driver to the steering wheel. And going again.
Yeah,
perfect.
Well, around and letting it rip.
That's the way to do it. You leave it on the track. That's the way to do it.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad we were able to connect, and you got your message out there. That's good. The record set straight, and certainly, man, keep in touch.
As for Brett going to Cancerega, I'm sorry about the luck, man, but I don't have a car to run, so. And I ain't going out to spend $1,500 just to go to run against Brett.
Right.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Right.
So be it. Whatever. You can say whatever. But I will definitely be in next year to almost every one of them. I was in 7 last year, and I'll probably be in more this year.
Awesome.
Nice. Good job.
Well, we wish you a ton of luck, man. Keep in touch.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right, so we got Tommy Dowd coming up here.
All right.
Just a
We'll
just
get
a
Tommy.
minute.
Let's get Tommy on here.
Gotta get Tommy on the line.
I'm kind of speechless after that.
Well, Jim Beatty's got his hands full.
I was speechless during that.
No, but, if you want to keep it on track, leave it on track. I mean, that's the way to do it. You settle it on a track.
He's doing it the right way. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, so, it is what it is. Everybody has their moments.
He hasn't kept it on the track, though, because I was at Penn Yan 2 years ago when he started screaming at Brett and yelling at Brett, and he was definitely not, it was almost a bad night. I thought we were going to have to bail Brett out of the Yates County lockup. But
So we got the legend, the master.
The gangsta, Tommy Dowd.
That would be him, Tommy Dowd. Tommy, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Great.
What's up, gangsta?
You've had a pretty successful season this year, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be on.
How many 6-foot trophies you've got at the house now? Just from 2014.
I don't know.
Lost count.
Stop. You got them counted. Come on, Tommy. Stop. You kiss them before you walk out the door to go to work in the morning, Tommy. Let's be honest.
He's got them like floor joist jacks. He's got them holding this barn up. He's probably got like a dozen of them by now.
You certainly have had a great year. Wanted to talk with you a little bit about the win in Belfast. I mean, that was the most recent one, but tell us about that win and how your season's gone.
That was a pretty tough win. I tried to drive smart. I had to end up beating out a newer Ford that was real tough, Tom Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Just picked him apart, car for car. He was definitely a better car, but so that was a good run. The original car I took there that night or that day to actually use kind of was a one-hit wonder. I snapped the training right off the block.
Yeah, that had people jumping out of their cars shortly after that.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been a lot of last-minute decisions just trying to make an appearance and support some shows this year, and I've just been lucky enough to pull some more wins and try to use some cars up.
Tommy, how many wins did you have this year? 4 or 5? We were counting off before we started. I think.
I got three wins and a Mad Dog and.
Well, you won the.
Wait a minute. That math doesn't make anywhere close to sense.
Yeah, you won Cuba Rules in Canandaigua.
Yep.
You won Belfast. You won your hometown show too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess it is 3. Yeah, that's cool.
And you still haven't fired that new motor.
Yeah, that new motor is still sitting there waiting.
Wait, is that you got like a glass top you're gonna put on that? You're gonna make that an end table or what, Tommy?
Well, I figured I proved enough this year. Maybe I'll break it out next year.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jeremy last night, as a matter of fact, and he asked me who was going to be on the show, and I said you were going to be on. I said, it says it right in that new motor. I know that thing's nasty. So when Jeremy's saying the motor you have is nasty, that's sounds like one that should be used soon.
You got to call Jeremy up, say, hey, I got to send that back up, get freshened up because the condensation's sitting in it.
Oh, no.
I was talking to him the other day, and he had asked me if I had started it yet. And I said, nope, it's still sitting. I got it sitting in the car now. It's not mounted, but it's sitting there.
This is it.
Where's that one going, Tommy?
I mean, I was building it for Cuba last year, and then once that got canceled, I kind of pushed it to the side.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build that sucker and take it out to Bash for cash.
I mean, I thought about that.
I mean, really, what's the worst thing that can happen? You go out.
Shows I want to go to that I usually end up not having anything ready till the night before or something, and then I choose to go last minute.
Choose to go underbuilt and take their trophy.
Yeah, that is what Tommy said when he talked to me prior to Canandaigua. Kind of underbuilt for the show. I'll probably get run over, but whatever, it's cool.
Uh-huh. What did he say to you after the Derby?
That he taught him a lesson. He was right though. He taught him a lesson. He cleaned house.
But it's easy to show up to like a Cuba-based rules like that with a car you're trying to use up because you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So
exactly.
That night is either hit or get hit, and I just got on the pedal and took care of business.
Oh yeah. You drove a great Derby, man. There was no doubt. You were definitely You were definitely. It ain't like you were sandbagging. You were definitely driving them.
Him and Cody.
Yeah.
Him and Cody were sending shit.
Yeah,
like crazy.
There was some junk made that night.
Yep.
And yeah, I usually let my brothers run some cars with me, and I go places. But this year, I kind of stepped away and tried to go places by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with this Ford that you brought home?
Yeah, what is up with that Ford?
Which one?
Which one?
The bubble,
That's interesting. That's a
Which
strange.
one?
That's a strange answer, Tom.
Which one?
the bubble Ford we just saw in a trailer the other night on Facebook.
It's already tilted.
Yeah, well, I guess it's still an old iron Impala guy, which I'll never stop building them as long as I can get them. I just figured it's time to see what all this fuss is about with these newer Fords, I suppose.
Yeah, an awful nice motor that you can drop in there and take it out to bash for cash. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he wants to get rid of the learning curve before he jumps that big.
That's what I plan on doing. I got this one, and I think I got a couple others getting delivered this week. I'm gonna try to get them down before I try to step up and do a bigger show with them.
Tommy, in all seriousness, right now at your house, how many cars do you have waiting to be built?
I have about 1, 2, 3 waiting to be built. Probably
6.
He's trying to decide.
I've scrapped a lot of cars lately.
He's trying to decide what honest answer to give.
Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3.
Just pick a
I've
number.
maybe waiting that I built halfway or started to build and pushed aside.
It's not even a joke, because I had a guy I talked to 2 weeks ago was asking, oh yeah, there's a derby down in Belfast, this and that, and he, right out of the blue, he's not a derby guy. He goes, yeah, there's some kid down there. He says he must have a dozen cars up on the side hill. There are some of them run and everything else. He says, I probably know who that is.
Is he about 4 foot tall and has a flat brim hat?
bunch of tattoos. So,
are you gonna eventually? Are you gonna try to get up to the level where you can make the trip out to Blizzard Bash in Topeka, that indoor show?
I would like to. I'd like to run like that show, or maybe like a Bash for Cash, and if nothing else, for the experience.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and I was serious when I said, build that car, put your new motor in, and go to Bash, because I mean, we've all lost derbies. We've all lost more derbies than we won. I mean, so you go to Bash, you get beat. What's the big deal? You just got beat by the best in the country.
I'll test going to Ohio. It's you need to get rid of some of the learning curve before you get to yeah. Yeah. You're talking a shit ton of money to just go out there and go.
Well,
I think the last thing Tommy wants to do is call up Jeremy and say, "Hey, Jeremy, yeah, you know that brand new motor that I just got to run? Yeah, I broke the block. 5 minutes in." It's like that's you want to get rid of a little bit of that learning curve.
It'd be fun though up until that point.
Oh,
up to the point of that car.
It's definitely fun for sure, but them Fords are a whole different.
To see me go out there and bring a jackknife to a sword fight.
No, not at all. Bring one of your old school. I know you got some. I've seen pictures of your Impalas. Build an old school car and take it out there. They usually don't break blocks. They break everything else, but usually not blocks.
Well, actually, I do. My first original guard motor, I have broke that block.
Really?
Yeah.
I pressed it in too much, and the car bent a little funny and behind the A-arm, and you're not allowed the training protectors and stuff here and stuff. So
yeah,
it was a little weaker there, and it clipped a little wrong and broke the tab off the motor mount right there.
No, that's not bad.
There is a key component, Tommy. I can tell you about a key component.
And it only costs you.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Have you seen the new combinations with the motor and the cradle coming from Baldwin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're pretty nice.
That's like wicked.
Some of the stuff the thought process that went into those with the spark plug protectors.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they got coil protectors on them too.
Yeah,
I would assume.
Yeah, if they don't. Coil protectors.
Would you stop saying that? I've told you a million times.
Eventually, there'll be something for everything.
They have to. In MLS motors, that's what happens. They smack them coil packs. I mean, that's what happened early. Happened to Josh, Decker out in Minnesota. I mean, unless you cut the freaking whole hood out. I mean, it's
well, you're the fab man. Fab something up, make yourself a little extra money.
I'm just putting it out there for the manufacturers that already got it going. I'm sure they've already thought of it. You just got to put it in place. They got protectors for everything else. I mean, what's that? You know, you need gas line protectors.
Let me make sure that everybody understands what Ben's saying. The concept is, yes, you need to protect the coil packs, but no protector does what it's described to do. You need to figure out how you can engineer this so that it strengthens the car in some other way.
No, that's an upper mount.
You use to strengthen it.
Yeah, it strengthens your carb halo with another crossbar.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so you can pressurize even more without breaking your block.
You run it from your cage to the front of the cradle, tie it in there, and then tie it in all the way back through. And one more reason the car won't bend.
See, now you've crossed the threshold. Now we're there.
We're golden.
Ready to go.
Too far.
Now, are they all 98 to 02s, Tommy? Or are you getting 03 and newers?
The one I have is an 05, and the two that I might be getting delivered this week are 98 to 02s.
Mm-hmm. Don't even be trying my idea I told you about.
I've been talking to Jeremy Gard a little bit, and more of a 98 to 02 guy, and hopefully he's going to help me out with this little learning curve and stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had pretty good luck with their Fords.
They prefer 2000s.
They've had pretty good luck.
He said he prefers the 98 to 02.
Yeah, the 2000 is the premier year if you talk to certain guys. Yeah. What are you laughing about, Chris?
Nothing. Throwing it out there.
I don't care. What the hell do I care? What I'm doing is way off, way out there. So it's.
Well, you said you needed 5 brands of car to build what you're doing.
5 different cars.
That's
five cars. Five
question
cars
was,
brands. Okay.
My question was how many different cars. You said 5 different brands.
Well,
which is Chevy, Dodge.
It'll be Ford.
GM, Chrysler.
Chrysler.
So Tommy is definitely stealing your idea.
Yeah. No, he's not. No.
Ben did say he had to come to my house, so he's probably gonna.
Oh no.
He's gonna end up telling me.
Yeah, I do have to. I gotta get a GM radio.
Looking at it.
The hell you gotta get a GM radio?
That's going in the Crown Vic. That's my secret. The GM radio is the secret.
Well, okay.
No, it's for
Firewall.
Yeah, hot rod buddy wants a radio. Not one of these. We're recycling parts.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Cool.
So Tommy, where's the number 1 show you're going next year?
You just said you didn't know.
I really haven't
Belfast.
decided. It's so hard for me to decide what shows I want to go to.
Why is it so difficult?
But I like to stay local and run a lot of these local shows just for the people and the crowds and to piss people off.
Yeah, you just start too many fights.
I also like going to the. You get the less drama at the bigger shows and stuff.
That seems to be true.
And more of a build. You can build them a little better. They last.
Well, instead of building 12 cars, just build 4.
Yeah, Ford.
I mean, do you like the real heavy style build, or do you like more along the lines of what you had for the Cuba rules?
I'm more of like the limited weld.
Yeah.
I don't like to go overboard. I still like to. I like it. Limited weld kind of gives everybody opportunity, money or not. You can still build a car to compete. Stuff's still gonna bend.
Brian, just to revisit the topics that you said a minute ago. So let's say an average investment in a car is $7,500, and you run for 5 minutes. If you extrapolate that out over an hour, it's $90,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or for $7,500, or go to Bash and like 12 to 15 to 16,000.
Perfect. Let's do it.
I think I got $7,500 in just the one motor I bought from Jeremy.
I was gonna say he's got the expensive part built. Now it's all easy after that.
Yeah.
It's all easy. It's all easy from here, Tommy.
It's nothing but time.
Just start cashing checks.
Time and money, man. That's all it takes is time and money. See, he bought the motor last year. This year he buys one of them super runs like Pete's got in his Rivy that wouldn't bend if you drop it off the Empire State Building. then
See, Tommy, you should drive. You should come out to Topeka, and then you could.
Oh yeah, there you go, Tom.
Yeah, dude, you got to come out there.
You should come out. I mean, it's an off time. You ain't gonna be doing any construction. Everything will be froze.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Would love to, but they actually in 5 years, the last 5 years, I've worked all winter.
That's no fun.
We got vacation.
You guys, no, we don't get no vacation.
Just call in. All you'd have to do is call in sick on Thursday for Friday, and you'll be back Monday to work. You're golden, man.
I would love to.
How's he doing that?
What?
Fly back Sunday night after the show.
There's no flights leaving Kansas City to get him back here. By
He's
the time
got a brand new pickup.
Hey,
yeah,
drive it.
It's not that bad of a drive.
Was it 19 and a half hours or something like that?
I figured him and Decker could probably charter their own plane. Then they could fly right out, high class, and probably land it.
No, see, I got to see. You could get Tommy, Andy, Brett, Decker. Who's the other top-notch wingers out there?
I don't know. That's a pretty big plane right there.
Pretty big plane. That's definitely Learjet.
There we go.
Right
the boys
there.
ride a Learjet. They go to Topeka.
Why are you both looking at me? I don't have, nor do I want a jet. I'm not getting one.
No, but it'd be cool to see those guys around. I mean, Pete can fly out with you. You just have to hire somebody to drive his truck and trailer out there.
I was missing. Pete's probably gonna have hired somebody to drive out.
He's already gonna be out there though. He's got cars going.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So he won't be flying, will
He's
he?
got a
Or is
truck
he gonna
driver.
send?
He's got a truck driver.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a truck driver that's not busy for a couple days.
Yeah, Josh DeVevick.
Is Josh running or no?
I don't know.
DeVevick?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen his name on any of the lists.
No, I haven't seen it anywhere unless something's changed. I don't believe so. Because they've got the four-man team that he's got. He's got Songalewski and Brzezinski, Pete, and Rick Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't wait to get out there. that show is going to be just the team bracket alone could stand by itself.
Yeah,
and then you've got all these other periphery divisions that are going to be going on out there. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's a hell of a show, Tommy. I mean, that's one to definitely if you want to.
Yeah, I'm definitely psyched that I'm going to be there this year.
Oh, definitely love to go to a show like that. Mm-hmm. We need to have an indoor show up or here around New York or something.
We got to find someplace to have it though, because what it takes to do an indoor show is more than just having a willing indoor arena. You've got so many other variables with that.
You got to haul dirt in, and
well, that's not even. I mean, that's the indoor arena by itself that's a given. They have the Monster Jam up here all the time. They haul in dirt for that.
Yeah.
The other issue that you've got is number of cars. You've got it. You're going to have to do it off season, and out in this part of the country, indoor facilities are butted up against stuff that's booked out years in advance. You've got basketball, ice hockey, and all these other things, and then you still need someplace where you can pit the cars. And with the weather that we've got here, I just don't know if you've got it.
Why don't you just make a phone call to Pete and have him build an arena? have him build a dome.
I know exactly what he needs to replicate.
About putting on shows, didn't he?
Have him build a dome. I mean,
he keeps threatening to do that.
I think the perfect indoor arena would be the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, but there's nowhere to work on cars inside.
Yeah, you don't have any. You have no place inside. That's the key for Topeka is you've got the barns.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to build a building like out in Razorback.
Yeah,
but again, still, there's no place to work on cars. If you build that here, there's no place to work on cars. That's indoors.
Yeah, that's true. Like at Syracuse,
you have to build the additional.
In Syracuse, you'd have to derby at the arena and then run back to the fairgrounds and use the buildings there.
Yeah,
15-minute drive back and forth.
All right. Well, next heat will be up in a half hour.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
2-day show. You're gonna have to be. Yeah, Pete keeps threatening he's going to do a derby. There's a new derby that's taking form now. Brett and Josh are putting this Kings of Old School program together for June 6th next year at the Broome County Fairgrounds at Whitney Point. Have you heard anything about this yet, Tom?
Yeah, I got a message saying that I have to go.
That would be.
Well, I mean,
that would be accurate.
Yeah.
I was. There was no question. They just said I have to go.
Yeah.
You do.
They don't ask much of me. This is one thing they're asking.
Yeah, we'll get your hump plates put in now so you can season.
They already have them.
Well, you're golden then.
But they got
inside of these Fords, don't they?
$2,000 purse for the V8s. They got $1,500 or something like that, something crazy like that for the for the compacts. They're going to have a junk run with full-size trucks allowed to run. It's shaping up to be a pretty good program.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a heck of a show. I mean, he's going the right way with it. I think it's really he has. I solely, I don't want to jump the gun on Brett, but I mean he has a reputation of when he says he's going to do something, he does it.
Right.
And if he says it's going to be this, that's what it's going to be.
Sure.
And a lot of people respect that. And he has that respect. And I think he's going to have a hell of a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
The few things that he's got up his sleeve that I'm sure he's going to let out it's never been done, and he's going to set a precedence with it, and it's going to be great. I mean, so if people are planning on to run a show and don't know what shows, this is going to be one of the premier shows to go to. Yep. And
I was talking to Brett last week.
I don't want to take too much away from him.
Yeah.
I think I get my own rule book for that show.
You don't read the rules anyways, do you, Tommy?
No, I don't look at them.
Well, there you go. You're golden. But I was
leather bound with embossed with Tom Dowd on the front.
I was talking to Brett last week, and he came up with an idea, and he goes, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And explained it to me, and I was like, I have never thought of that before, but the idea he had was just an amazing idea. And again, like Ben said, I'm not going to,
right.
But that idea was just, I'm like, I never would have thought of something like that. I mean, they're really putting a lot of time and energy into it, and hopefully guys come out and support him. I think it'll be a great show.
For sure.
Yeah, we need something like that around here, because with Cuba getting canceled and not happening anymore, I think we need
that time
shows like that.
That time of year. I mean, it's a perfect time of year for a show like that. I mean, it's
and Yates County Speedway, Black Rock. They don't have their fall show now. That November date's been nixed. Next weekend is going to pretty much be one of the last Northeast shows. The weekend after. The 17th and the 18th is going to be one of the last Northeast shows that we have, because that's Fulton's date, and then they got Canada with the same day. But Fulton is shaping up to be a fairly big show because there's nothing waiting on the other side of it. Like we've had Black Rock in the past, and if Black Rock stays this course, we may not have Black Rock or Yates County Speedway in the spring either. There may not be one over there then.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? I mean, they don't want.
They're just not getting the support that they expected.
The speedway itself,
right?
Okay.
The Derby isn't drawing quite the way that they need to, but at the same time, you've got, previously you've had. I don't know. We had some killer end of the year shows over there. No, but what I'm saying is last year it wasn't a particularly huge draw, but everything got wasted the week before when you pair Belfast with Wheel Days.
Yep.
So you didn't have a lot of stuff that was left over that was going to come and run. And in the spring, they got rid of the full-size program in full because they had they weren't going against Cuba. They didn't want to have to draw against them. They were putting their apples in the compact basket instead. And so I mean, there's some changes and stuff that there's room for changes along those lines, but I don't know if that's the direction that the Speedway wants to go anyway. It's different management now. Dan Harpel's running the place instead of Dean Hogue.
They had a pretty good turnout though. I mean, I was there with you and gave you.
They had a great show. They had a really good show. I'm not taking anything against that show, but it's they're looking at what they've got and what they brought in, and if you've got a great turnout of cars, but nobody's coming to the stands to watch it, it's a business for them too.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's a business for them too.
Yep.
But Dan Harpel's doing a good job over there with the Speedway stuff. I'm hoping that what I'm hearing, we've gone a little off to the side here, but I'm hoping what I'm hearing about Yates County for next year is true, but we're not going to let that out of the bag quite yet.
That might be in prospect to go to.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
For next year.
If they have one.
Yeah.
You've always got Bash for Cash. That's Memorial Day. Just saying. You got Topeka in a couple weeks. I know how you like to do things the night before.
Yeah, just get in the car and take off, man. Well, if you want to go to Topeka, you might want to get in the car a couple nights before and take off.
Yeah.
I saw these guys after driving straight out, doing the show, and driving straight back that Monday night, and they all looked like zombies. So you may want to get a little bit of rest somewhere in there.
Driving back somewhere.
Topeka.
Oh yeah.
You guys all look bad.
Yeah.
We made it.
I'd like to say I get to sit around at work and stuff, but that's not the case. Not an operator yet.
Hey, I'm there with you. I hear you.
It's a long day.
Yep.
Right.
That's for sure.
But, well, Tommy, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and talking a little bit about your season. It was a good one, and we only wish you the best of luck here in the off season. Hope you find a lot of good stuff, and we look forward to seeing you wreck all of it next year.
Thank you. It's good to be on.
Have a
All
good
right,
one,
man. We'll
Tommy.
catch you later.
All right, Tommy,
See ya.
see ya.
See you.
There goes Tommy Dowd. How many cars do you say he had sitting around his house?
He never did.
Yeah, he never did. He kept losing track.
Yeah.
That's got to be a rough problem to have.
He got to like 8 or 9 and then lost track.
I don't think he wants anybody to know really how many are there. It's like, what number is a believable number but not the true number?
Well, every now and then he'll put up pictures, and there's just seems like cars everywhere. It's definitely got some stuff down there.
We got something for everybody to take a quick look at before we get out of here for the night. Take a look at this. This is what we've been talking about. Blizzard Bash 2014. Topeka, Kansas, November 14th to 16th. Topeka Expo Center right there in downtown Topeka. Coming up.
We'll
That's
be there.
what everybody is
30
looking
some
at.
days now, right?
30,
39?
yeah,
It's coming fast.
39.
coming in a hurry. I still got to get everything packed up and shipped out. And
Not
by the way,
UPS.
yeah, it's not going. It's not going UPS. I
Did
can
you
see
get
that.
your container?
I'm waiting for you to finish it.
You never told me to start it.
Half-inch plate the whole way around.
That's great. We're
I
gonna
can
have
make it. I can make out 1 inch and a quarter. We got
No.
1 inch and a quarter. We got 3 inch at work.
You got 3-inch?
Got 3 inch plate
We'll talk.
at work.
we're gonna have to have one of those Army jumbo jets to carry tags to take that sumbitch out there.
I want to make sure that if it gets dropped, nothing inside's going to be hurt.
They're only the floor when they
Yeah.
drop it.
Or toes or whatever it happens
Yeah.
to land on.
I don't care about the squishy parts. I just want the electronics to be in one piece when we're done.
Or before we
No,
start.
I
for
think
that matter.
we got a little bit of a plan together. We're going to be shipping more boxes, smaller boxes, more frequently, and then some of the balance of the stuff is just going to go into the carry-on bags and the stowed bags. So make sure when you pack light because I need your suitcase space. Because what's the worst that can happen in the belly of a plane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
No.
As long as you don't have
If you-
de-icing fluid dripping on you, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
Disgruntled stewardess running over everybody with their cart.
Oh, we did have some fun.
Could have a stowaway. That's happening now. You know, stowaways underneath the plane in landing gear.
You got to really want to go somewhere to do that. Really want to go somewhere. You get up there around 38,000
I don't
feet. There's
think
so much
nobody-
oxygen to be breathing.
I don't think Topeka is going to be a real high priority place in November.
So Tommy wants to come in the studio sometime. He was
That's-
having a tough time keeping up with the conversation with the phone connection. So that's one of the reasons why he was a little bit more quiet than he probably would be if he was here in person. So by all means, Tom, we'll set up a time you can get out.
Bring
here.
your trophies with you.
Yeah,
Set
bring
them
all of
around.
them. Bring all of them. You're gonna have to take them apart so they can fit in your truck.
No, he'll just get a U-Haul.
There you go. You haul 'em.
Just you haul.
Bring a Penske truck.
All right. Well, we good to get out of here. Next week, Brett Riley is going to be on the show. He's going to be talking a little bit more about the June 6th date, and I'm not sure. I know Josh was working on a couple different things. He's trying to line up Lazenby. We've been trying to do that for a little while, so I know that's another potential guest that we're going to see next week, and at that point, then we're in crunch time.
That's countdown.
Yeah, we're gonna be real close to having a couple of busy days ahead of us. This Saturday is gonna be fun. We're all going down to Woodstock, Virginia, Shenandoah County Fairgrounds for the Tom Hook Fire Department Benefit Derby, put on by Jason Shipe, Sean Gokenauer, Mark Wolf going to be down there. all the guys. I mean, pretty much all of them. If they got stuff left over from the fair, they're going to be bringing it down there and finishing it off. So it'll be good to see those boys down there. The 17th of October, we're going to be at the New Alex Lions Club down in Pennsylvania. They've got their season-end points championship, and I need to get a hold of Todd Siopa tonight and let him know everything's coming together, because there are rumors that he still has his Keystone Nationals wagon kicking around, and he said that maybe that could get band-aided back together for one more run. So we got to get that squared away. And then on the 18th, we're coming back home from Pittsburgh as soon as we can for a 5 o'clock start time at the Eve of Destruction at Fulton Speedway. And that will cap the season, other than Blizzard Bash, obviously.
Other than that little one in November.
That little show in November. That little 3-day jaunt.
That was really like our kickoff last year. I mean, if you really think about it, it was November. December, we didn't go anywhere. Then from January on.
January, it went wide open. Yep. My wife reminded me that there is no off-season anywhere.
Did she smile when she reminded you of that?
I was told that 10 years ago, Chris.
Yeah.
There is no off-season in derbies.
Derby doesn't sleep. But I think that's going to do it for us this week. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I see the numbers were up fairly good on the live views again. Hopefully we can crank out another week like we did last time, and we'll catch up with you back here next week. Thanks a lot, guys.